Hello. Alright, so today, let me see. I try to do like a good book, a goofy book, a good book, a goofy book. I don't know where this one falls because it's not really, it is a book. It was more like a collected, and it's not really a comic book, but it kind of is. Talking about Peanuts. I got this a while back. I've been meaning to get all of them, but I haven't had the money or the time. But this covers uh, Charles Schultz's Peanuts from 1950 to 1952. And why am I talking about it? Because, I mean, it's just newspaper funnies, whatnot. It's like, what's the big deal about it? Well, honestly, first off, I love Charlie Brown, especially the earlier stuff. Um, there is a certain point where it's kind of a market saturation where he was, I don't know, I don't want to say it this way because it might just because he'd been doing it for so long, or it might be because the characters gotten so popular. But there was a point where the strips felt kind of repetitive, and after a while it really became the Snoopy show. But the early ones, however, are cute, and it's a real decent snippet in time. Like, you actually get to see how things were during this period of time, at least through Schultz's eyes. You get to see how children were. You get to see what they enjoy. Like, there's a whole bunch of like Charlie Brown going to the local drugstore to get candy and comics and stuff, and he's supposed to be like 8, I think, and he's just walking across town to do that. And there was a period of time where that was common. Honestly, even in the 80s when I was a kid, we used to walk around the neighborhood pretty far. That was before the stranger danger thing kicked in, and parents were keeping us on a shorter leash, which is fine because if I had a kid, I'd be terrified if they were just roaming the streets too. So I'm not putting that down. I'm just saying it was a cuter time where children were roving the street to get candy and apparently, just being mean to each other. Because early Charlie Brown, he's kind of a dick. Like, he's kind of a bully at the very start. Like, you really get the idea that he's supposed to be like the neighborhood tough, but like not in the way that he's walking up and punching people in the face, but in the way that he's just kind of like insulting people randomly. But I also feel like his personality or his character wasn't completely solidified early either. So you really don't get like the sad sack Charlie Brown in these early versions. Also, early version of Snoopy does not belong to Charlie Brown. He's kind of a neighborhood dog. Matter of fact, I think like other kids at some point claim to own him, but it's never really clear, and he's just kind of around. And he is a dog. Like, he's not walking on his 2 feet yet. He's still four-legged, walking around. He's not flying his house. He's not sleeping on top of a house. He's just a dog who, for whatever reason, also has full access to everybody's homes and will just wander in. You get to see Linus as a baby when he first starts out. You get to see Schroeder as a baby, which is weird. I actually thought Schroeder was around the same age as Charlie Brown, but it turns out no. What's kind of weird is what Schultz seems to do is he seems to take the characters and they'll be born as babies. But I noticed, like, as it goes on, they age, but nobody else does. So it's like the kids are just kind of catching up. So I don't know if that was planned or if it was just kind of like he's writing stories and he's like, well, I can't keep doing this as a baby. Like Lucy, you get to see Lucy as a toddler, like way younger than what Charlie Brown's supposed to be. And she catches up at some point. So again, though, the whole thing is just real fascinating with what goes on with these characters, how they developed, knowing what they become, who they'll be in the future. It's very interesting, and I suggest it strongly. That being said, I'm not entirely sure like how people on booktube channels will feel about me talking about this, but then again, I started out talking about the Ghostbusters novelizations, and I'm also have the Gremlins little like YA one, so I'm probably not winning a lot of fans with that. But you know what? These are the things I find interesting, so these are the things I'm going to share. And again, I really suggest this. Like, it's a unique window to the past. It's funny. Some of it's fun. It's all funny, but there's some of it where I'm just kind of like, I have to go to the context of the time for that one because I don't know what you're trying to tell me. That being said, unlike a lot of stuff that you read from the early days, you don't have to worry about, like, at least I didn't notice. And I'm a white dude, so maybe I'm not going to notice as much, but not a whole lot in the way of racism. Like, there is some, like, cowboy and Indian stuff, so I guess that's a little hinky, I guess. But for them, compared to what you normally get when you go into the older stuff, Schultz was pretty classy. So yeah, that's really about it. What else do I want to talk about? Not a lot really. I'm still like, honestly, these are kind of back-to-back videos. So I'm still reading Treasure Island. Actually, I took a break from that today. I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, you know, with everything being like so heavy, and my job is kind of my job's not a fun job. So a lot of times I just kind of want my brain to unwind. And while Treasure Island's not a dark book, it's not a depressing book, I do need something a little more bubblegum. So I've been reading the Ghostbusters comics from IDW. If you get a chance, check them out. They're really good. Even if you don't read comics, give it a shot. You might be surprised. So that's really about it. Thank you again. If you will, give me a like, give me a subscribe, comment, just start a conversation, and be nice. I'm very sensitive, and I cry easily. Good night, everybody. You know, if an everything bagel started to get moldy, would you even notice?